Yeah. I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. Man. I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with this hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. We're here with episode 834. So I'm glad to welcome to the show as we get into it. Do an appropriate welcome as we like to do. Welcome to episode 834 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the sporting HBCU dash for all things HBCU sports for institutions large and small, from the NEIA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture, HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic programs in the business of HBCU sports. In short, we just call it HBCU sports pedagogy. I'm your host, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, along with my co-host, Mike Washington, is back in the fold. Charles Bishop is doing what he does. We're filming from our home studios in Signal, sending a Signal Live to KSWH 1230 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Fame, multi-Hall of Famer that is, Ralph Cooper, in the beautiful home of Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas, I better say. With that being said, we also have AD Drew Wilton Jackson II, I believe, is joining us again as well. Let's bring everybody on board to make sure and see just how everybody is doing today. Ooh, we got the mother load ship is full and we are ready to go lock and loaded. Something tells me that might be a media day or two coming up pretty soon. Everybody trying to get their last minute vacations in, making sure they get some rest because it's going to get fast and furious, as we all say. With that being said, Charles, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Doc. I'm doing well. It's if my wife is listening, I'm missing the action for the next few hours. It's because college football 27 is coming out on EA Sports, so I have to download my HBCU team. So,
with that being said, let me give a shout out to Deuce, as we all know him. My son Japhus Kenyatta Cavil II. It is his birthday.
Ah, happy birthday, Deuce!
Happy birthday!
He turns 12, the last of the preteen years. He tells everybody he's 13. I don't know what that's about.
He already claiming it. He probably been telling girls for 2 years he already 13.
Sure, that's happening.
Oh yeah, you know he put it that. Yeah, girl, I'm 13.
Hey, you got to get the gab. So
yeah, exactly.
He does that in more ways today, because he was actually negotiating what he was going to do for his birthday. He's in the camp, so he thought he was going to take off the whole day. He must have forgot that he is the son of my wife, Faith Washington Cavil, and she's like, not today. But he did get half a day, so he got it. He got halfway. We took him to lunch, so that was good. And boy, does he know how to sting the pockets, particularly in this current environment, man. He likes to eat well. I don't know where he got that from. Mike, Charles, that's y'all fault.
We're gonna sting the pocket.
So let's get into it and get to the business. HBCU sports news. I'm gonna start with you, Charles. What direction do you want to go with that?
Yeah, well,
before we get in there, I do want to say this: the second half of the show, we're going to get into that Stephen Gaither discussion on ticket sales. I think that's fascinating. We got Mike here; they can give us some data analytics. AD Drew likes to really put his hand in there. And then we have journalist extraordinaire with Wilton Jackson II, so he can give us perspective, looking at it journalistic from that approach. And then we got Charles, who's all things and certainly can give us a personal fan perspective of being a fan for so long. And I'm sure some of y'all will add that as well. But with that being said, Charles, go ahead and get us some news of the day as you were about to start.
Yeah, well, this article comes to us from HBCU Sports. Kendrick Marshall, really good read here with regards to Roger Cater to be honored by the MLB at the HBCU Swingman Classic. At this year's HBCU Swingman Classic, every player will take the field with a visible reminder of Coach Roger Cater. Of course, Coach Cater passed on June 30th, but he'll be remembered on MLB All-Star Week in Philadelphia. At this year's event, each uniform worn by players at the HBCU Swingman Classic will feature a special patch to honor the legendary Southern University baseball coach. Of course, Coach Cater, he spent 33 seasons at Southern, winning 14 SWAC championships, 11 NCAA regional appearances along the way, and he was recognized by his peers as being a 13-time SWAC Coach of the Year. So kudos in terms of Major League Baseball recognizing the legendary Coach Roger Cater.
Well done. Well done. We got to honor him once we heard the news. So it's good to see that others honor him and recognize him just as much as we did. That will be fun to see in terms of the Swingman HBCU All-Star event. With that being said, we go to you, Wilton. Wilton, what's on your mind in terms of the news of the day?
So a little bit of news from me. This article comes from HBCU Game Day. Jackson State added NFL experience to its coaching staff with the hiring of former second-round NFL draft pick Breland Speaks as the program's new defensive analyst and outside linebackers coach. The 30-year-old Jackson, Mississippi native joins TC Taylor's staff after recently announcing his retirement from professional football following a career that included time in the NFL and the United Football League. Speaks was selected by the Kansas City Chiefs with the 46th overall pick in the second round of the 2018 NFL Draft after starring at Ole Miss. During 2 seasons with the Chiefs, he appeared in 16 games, making 4 starts while recording 24 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. His NFL career also included stops with the Las Vegas Raiders, Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, Buffalo Bills, San Francisco 49ers, and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Good stuff. Good opportunity. I want to provide some analyst work over there at Jackson State. I love, as they like to say in those parts. With that being said, let me go to you, Big Mike. What's on your mind today?
Another good read, another good article. There was a young lady who has been elevated to the position of coach, head coach. 4-time all-SWAC first-team bowler Jalen Rogers has been elevated to the position of head coach. What makes this interesting is this is only 1 year after she serves as the assistant coach during the 2025-2026 season. And if you remember her, I vaguely remember I went back and did some key searches, and she's a 3-time SWAC championship, but more importantly, a 4-time all-SWAC student athlete. You know, that is a good move to bring young talent into your organization. It kind of resonates with me because my middle son is in grad school, even though it's not, you know, he coaches, he's been offered a full-time head coach in lacrosse already at a younger age. So so it kind of makes you think, you know, are universities seeing younger talent like this? The Jaguars athletic director Roman Banks kind of said in a statement, it was her passion for the university, of course, her leadership, her competitive spirit that made her the right person. Normally you see those words associated with a more experience, but it's really refreshing to see that in a young student who they've elevated to the position of head coach. So good for her, and I wish nothing but the best for Jalen Rogers.
Big deal, big deal. Fascinating to see. Certainly love to hear folks getting the opportunity, and we will keep our eyes on to see how things go from here. AD Drew, what about yourself? What is on your mind?
I got to bring a little bit of a somber news, and I know a lot of people have already seen this, but Savannah State standout baseball player Johan Sandoval was detained by ICE. I believe it was on Friday, from what I've been getting. I'm looking at a release from JWCL Channel 22. out of Savannah, Georgia. He was detained by ICE. There are different fundraising efforts out there to support him and his family through this ordeal. Savannah State University and their officials, including their president, are aware of the situation and are working through it. And I was reading an article today from another TV station there in Savannah, and they stated he was with his girlfriend at the moment of detainment, and it may have to do something with some paperwork from his previous institution and possibly his visa papers expiring. And it's just a lot with this, but right now I think we just need to put our thoughts and prayers with the Sandoval family, his girlfriend who had to witness that horrible incident, the Savannah State community, Coach Tino Burgos, and everybody associated with that baseball program, and just the HBCU community itself, because doesn't matter if he was a superstar, which he was first team all SIAC, or if he's a walk-on at the institution. The fact that this is happening to somebody who is basically doing nothing wrong, has never done anything to be warranted being pulled over. This is a sad situation.
Certainly, well done, and I'm glad that you got that news of the day out. When we heard it, obviously, we went into our internal chats and certainly were extremely concerned. It's another indication of where we are in this country. You have brighter things that you're looking at in terms of sports, but then you have a collision course in terms of sports, HBCU and ICE, in terms of what they call detainment, but essentially they're taking folks to jail, and we use different words to make it palatable, but this isn't a case where it certainly is concerning, and we'll follow and keep up. It's good to see that there are availabilities to do donations to help cover costs associated with dealing with this. It's hard to have words that are appropriate in terms of what this young man and his family is deal with, and then you have the institutional component of it. It's another indication where you see where HBCUs, as I call it, HBCUs culture, and the identity of HBCUs become bigger. You've certainly seen the outpouring of folks discussing that from a lot of perspectives. Lastly, I will say is certainly had in mind at some point, knew this was going to touch HBCUs. For some people, I'm sure it's already touched them directly in terms of family, friends, or even neighbors. So we'll continue to push forward and support in whichever way that we can.
It's unfortunate, Doc, and I know you gave your final thoughts, but I saw that and my heart kind of went out to a young man. And you hear ABC News, they have targeted immigration, or they're basically like KPIs at 2,000 to 2,300 per day, and they're targeted at communities and I don't want to get political in it, but my heart goes out because at the end of the day, young men and women are suffering. So my heart goes out to these young men as well. So
it's not just
I don't know how you might
and babies.
Just talking the facts.
Yeah.
This again, it's a time where you can't even speak truth to power. Where you feel like that you gotta use certain language because it's been so polarized and political, as you said, in terms of that. We're just talking facts. We're talking about what took place, what happened, where we are. It is in the United States. It was done to a student at an HBCU, and that HBCU was Savannah State. Young man played baseball and was an HBCU All-Star baseball player. Was a member of the SIAC All-American team and conference election. Those are facts. That's not political. He was detained. That's not political. Those are facts.
Right.
in terms of what's taking place with. So we're not going to deal with that, obviously, in terms of folks can use and discuss it the way they feel on the show in that way. But no, we're not going to talk about whether we're going to be political. We're going to put the facts out there what they are.
Agreed.
With that being said, we'll take our first break. We'll come back on the other side. And with that being said, we'll get into some other news and updates to keep the dialogue very appropriate, that we shine light from our perspective of what factually took place in terms of what's out in the news. We'll be right back after this first break.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
If you've ever told yourself, I want to get into real estate but don't know where to start, here's something just for you. From Friday, July 31st to Sunday, August 2nd, the Learn Real Estate Fast Masterclass is coming to McKenzie Office Park in College Park. You'll learn wholesaling, commercial investing, and how to purchase property with zero money or credit. I can tell you, education and access are everything. This masterclass is designed to give you both. Whether you're brand new or ready to level up, this is where you start making real moves. Enjoy free lunch, free study materials, and receive a certification of completion. So don't wait. Seats are filling fast. Do not sit on the sidelines while others build wealth. Take that first step toward ownership and legacy. Get your tickets now at learnrealestatefast.com or tickpick.com. For more information, call 678-859-3303. Master the market. Build your legacy. Secure your future today.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavil of Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they want to law, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. We're here with the professors. That's Professor Jackson II, Professor Bishop, Professor Washington, and Professor Drew. I'm going to open it up and give a shout out to a friend of mine out there that's doing good work, the Vice President for Intercollegiate Athletics at Tuskegee University. Reginald Ruffin was acknowledged as the 2025-2026 National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics. That's the NCAA Division II Athletic Director of the Year. Obviously, we announced our ADVP of Athletics last week, and that was none other than our colleague over there at Morehouse, getting it done. And he gave a shout out, and his just kind of went viral in terms of his desire to take a step and be recognized with his peers at the FCS Division I level. That's Ashley Robinson has won the award 4 out of 5 years. And then you also have Howard University AD getting it done in terms of his work, who won it as well 1 year. So
Kerry Davis.
That's Kerry Davis in terms of what he gets done. And so fascinating. So now, I wonder if Reginald Ruffin is going to get in the mix in terms of his thoughts of what that looks like about giving a shout out. We may have to reach out to him just to see if we can get a little banter going back. I know this means that Tuskegee Morehouse Classic or Morehouse Tuskegee Classic, depending on where you're at. Harold Ellis doing his thing over there at Morehouse and Reginald Ruffin. That should make that a little more interesting. When you get to the media days, it's supposed to be about the coaches. But it may be a little more interesting of the ADs in terms of their next job. Some folks are thinking this is the encore in terms of audition for people that have interest. Has been out there and talked for a while about FCS Division I move. So is Tuskegee trying to get their framework in there? Clark Atlanta, Virginia State, make sure that we diversify what that looks like when you talk about these Division II athletic directors that are putting in work. So I'm just saying, it is what it is. And I thought I'd put that out there when you talk about Tiffany Dawn Sykes. And I did throw out Clark Atlanta with Dr. Gerald Drew in the mix as well.
No relation.
And give some, I got to give my love to Clark Atlanta. I'm getting paid to make sure that they are represented at this level.
You kind of slipped that one in there, did you, dog? You're going to slip that in there. You're going to slip that one in there.
Media boy, take that for real. Okay. No, man. Don't good people over there wanted to give some love, particularly after that last segment, the way we had to close. With that being said, wanted to bring some smiles to people's faces. Let me go back to you, Drew. Give us some updates. I know there's some more baseball updates out there. The Black College Nines have did their All-American recognitions for the small and large. I know we don't have to go in great detail, but give us a couple of key plugs out there and tell them where folks can go get all the information.
Obviously, go to blackcollegenines.com to read the full release. But I'll start off with the large school. Miguel Oropeza of Alabama State was named the large school first team all freshman team after being the school's player of the year for both 24 and 25 and freshman of the year in 22. Some other names previous that are on the list also include Andre Martinez, Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, gotta have that on.
KJ White of Southern, Jay Campbell of Florida A&M, Kenny Fabian of UAPB, Cam Hill, Grambling State, Johan LeBoy of Alabama State. Pitcher of the Year, Edwin Sanchez. Freshman of the Year, Aaron Grant. Co-coach of the Year, Jonathan Hernandez, along with Jose Vasquez. And Sports Information of the Year, friend of the program, Travis Jerome.
Travis.
Oh,
Travis.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. Player of the Year is Jose Fernandez. I don't know if I gave that.
Yeah, please do Player of the Year. We're going to go and talk to you on that. Give us the Player of the Year for the Division II, and then we'll let other folks get in here.
All right. Going to the small schools division. We'll go with the elites. Player of the Year, Daniel Donaldson Fountain of Edward Waters. Pitcher of the Year, Diego Duke of Talladega. Freshman of the Year, Trent Braswell of Morehouse, along with Junior Vargas Vasquez of Wilberforce. Co-coach of the Year, Marcos Dominguez of Talladega, along with Reginald Johnson of Edward Waters. Sports Information Director of the Year is yours truly.
AK Drew. We know it. We know it. You know he's gonna delay it until he gets to his name, and then he's gonna pause. How you gonna pause?
Because you're not supposed to announce your own recognition. You're supposed to let somebody else do it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do it for you. AK Drew, AD Drew, the man, Morehouse College. All right. Let me correct you. Since I just got back from the Caribbean, it's Junior Varaz Vasquez, and
just throw it out there.
All right.
Diego Duque. So sorry, I just got back from the Caribbean, so I'm all into
whatever
my
you
Spanish.
said, Mike. I believe
Perfect enunciation.
I believe you.
Sorry, guys, I just got back from the Caribbean.
Side note, everybody.
I saw where they were showing the Dominican players how to hit seeds, man. I'm feeling like a native.
All I know is Friday. You better bring some of that stuff with you. With that being said, Wilton, before we get any further trouble, help us out. What you got? What else news is on your mind?
Hold on, can I do one side note on this, Dr. Cavil, before we move on?
Sure.
Infielder Johan Sandoval of Savannah State was on the first team. Just wanted everybody to note that.
Oh, no, that
Yep.
appropriate. Yes. Wilton, go ahead. Get back in. What else is on your mind?
I mean, Doc, I'm really just excited for football season, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, I know I know Drew's talking about baseball, and I love baseball, but I'm not gonna lie to you. We get to them dog days in July, and I know it's still early July right now, it's July 7th, but give me to about, after CIAA Media Day next week, it's really gonna be on between, Sweat Media Day, MEAC Media Day. I mean, it's just time. I'm seeing different teams, of course, prepare for the season. I mean, it's just like you said, the show. I mean, it's gonna be a grind, and I'm ready for the grind.
Yeah, it's real. When are you getting into Birmingham?
I will get to Birmingham probably that Tuesday.
Yeah, you ready? It's around the corner. With that being said, Charles, any additional news you want to share before we take our next break? We get into a little more dialogue. I'm gonna read through part of it, and then we'll get some questions and dialogue going when we talk about ticket pricing. A great article out of the HBCU Game Day by Stephen Gaither. With that being said, what additional news you want to close on, Charles?
Yeah, actually stay with regards to HBCU business, but I thought a great article in HBCU Sports today. Another one by Kendrick Marshall where he wrote about HBCU NIL trailblazer in terms of Antoine Owens being recognized as the first NIL athlete. Great read. If you have an opportunity to go check that out, that read from Kendrick Marshall on Antoine Owens and what he's doing now. But he just talked about being recognized as the first NIL athlete and what he's done since then. So it's a really interesting read.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I got to touch on it a little bit. With that being said, let's take our last break. We'll come back on the other side. We're going to dig into this article by Stephen J. Gaither, The Price of HBCU Football, Cheap Seats, Premium Prices. That being said, we'll be right back after this second break.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
If you've ever told yourself, I want to get into real estate but don't know where to start, here's something just for you. From Friday, July 31st to Sunday, August 2nd, the Learn Real Estate Fast Masterclass is coming to McKenzie Office Park in College Park. You'll learn wholesaling, commercial investing, and how to purchase property with zero money or credit. I can tell you, education and access are everything. This masterclass is designed to give you both. Whether you're brand new or ready to level up, this is where you start making real moves. Enjoy free lunch, free study materials, and receive a certification of completion. So don't wait. Seats are filling fast. Do not sit on the sidelines while others build wealth. Take that first step toward ownership and legacy. Get your tickets now at learnrealestatefast.com or tickpick.com. For more information, call 678-859-3303. Master the market, build your legacy, secure your future today.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJDN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop, along with Wilton Jackson II and AD Drew. I'm gonna start with the title of the article again, The Price of HBCU Football. Cheap Seats, Premium Prices is this article that was written by Stephen J. Gaither. I'm going to also add in the question that he had actually at the end of the article. I'm going to read through it, give you all plenty of time to kind of chum on that if you would. We're going to do this for 2 segments. So really get into what you want to discuss in this first segment, and we'll follow up in the next segment. He ends the article with this question: can schools raise the value of the experience without pricing out the people who made it valuable in the first place? Fascinating, particularly over the last couple of weeks, really a couple of months, I should say. And Charles, you have been a witness as I've kind of pulled you in and talked a little bit about that. I've been doing some research on the beginning decade of the SWAC in 1920. So I've been going back and getting a chance to really look at some articles that speak about the teams, the fans, records, and etc. about that first decade of the SWAC in the 1920s. So in a lot of ways, when he talks about people who made it valuable, that's the start of that. And obviously, in a lot of ways, you're talking about different groups, but people that came much later than our current set of fans. But he opens up the article with this: brothers, HBCU football tickets are telling a larger college football story in 2026. One that stretches from $70 season passes to premium seats and donor-driven packages. For years, HBCU football has built around access. A Saturday afternoon at the stadium has often been alumni, students, family, band supporters, former players, and local fans gathering around a shared tradition. That remains true, but the 2026 ticket market shows something else too. HBCU athletic departments are becoming more strategic about how they price the full game day experience. They are not just selling admission anymore. They are selling better seats, parking access, tailgate space, family bundles, digital convenience, hospitality, and in some cases, direct support for the modern athlete economy. The range is wide. Morgan State has an early bird general admission option listed at $70. North Carolina Central has a lawn season pass listed at $72. Allen University, and both of those programs, for those our listeners know, they're at the FCS Division I, but people that may chime in this later and watch, I'll put that out there. But Allen, program that operates at the Division II out of the SIC, has a digital pass listed at $83. On the other hand, Alabama A&M has a Legacy Club package listed at $1,875. Delaware State has a VIP box suite ranging from $1,000 to $1,800. Tennessee State offers a $15,000 package last year.
You said 1,000?
It's $15,000. HBCU football is still one of the most accessible products in college football. But schools are also building pricing ladders designed to reach different fans at different levels. The next component of this says HBCU football still has affordable entry points. The lower end of 2026 tickets market shows that many HBCU programs are still protecting community access. NCCU's 72 lawn season passes is one of the clearest examples, as mentioned earlier. Morgan State's $70 early bird general admission option is another. UAPB has a general admission option listed at $90. Virginia Union season pass is listed at $100. Bowie State Black Pass is listed at $105, while Fort Valley State's general admission option is listed at $95. This is a wide range of prices for a wide range of experience when you collectively look at all the prices that I mentioned to you. But the article goes on and says, at a time when college football costs are rising across the country, several HBCU programs still offer season-long access for around $100 or less. That is important for alumni who travel back to campus, families buying multiple tickets, and fans who simply want to be in the building. It also keeps HBCU football tied to its roots. The product has never been only about the final score. It's also about the band, the tailgate, the Greek plots, the class reunions, the local vendors, and the feelings of being back on campus. Low-cost tickets help keep that culture within reach. I'm going to start with you, Mike. What are your thoughts when you read at least the intro part I was talking about? I know I sent this out, so you had a chance to take a deeper dive. But as somebody that likes to look at metrics and talk about that, where are you when you think about where we might be in the HBCU landscape and you think ticket prices, but the variability in those ticket prices in terms of how folks can ascertain the fandom within the HBCU space?
Whew. So I got kind of two or three different points on this, and I didn't have a chance to take as deep a dive as I'd like to, but to me there's an emerging strategy. Keep entry level access affordable, create mid-tier commitment opportunities for mid-tier folks, monetize premium experiences more for sponsors, boosters, and affluent alumni. That's clear. That's what the strategy is. And you saw the prices are. You saw my takeaways from a business perspective. I wonder about number one, the fans that are most valuable to the organizations. Is it single game fan? Maybe low. If you were doing a curve, low revenue predictability, maybe low, medium loyalty, maybe low, medium. General admission season holder, from a revenue predictability, maybe medium, maybe loyalty is medium. Reserve season ticket holder, high and high. You see where I'm going with this? If you do kind of a spectrum across all of, where do they stand on that spectrum? That's point number one. Number two is, and if you look at that, I think it was Alabama A&M, they had, to me, a very strategic, important detail in the entire. Their premium package includes better seating, hospitality experiences, parking, and collective contribution. if you want to put some kind of term. Historically, the old model is buy ticket, separate booster donation, and separate NIL donation or parallel NIL donation. So to me, they're taking this and moving it to another level of support. It's the new model where you have premium experience, support athletics, and NIL bundled into your package. To me, that was my second takeaway. And then to me, the third point is we're seeing the same strategies on a larger level with NFL franchises, MLB franchises, major universities, others. We're seeing the same thing from them. So to me, I mean, it's only a matter of time that we kind of move up into this tiered approach with that strategy. To me, without giving it much thought, Doc and the rest, and CB and Wilt and AU, those are the thoughts that come to my mind from a business standpoint. The other risk, if you'll allow me to me, there are risk to this, and they mentioned, strategic advantages, but the biggest danger is parking, prices rise. We've all seen tailgate costs rise, so we're to inflation, homecoming premiums expand, hotel costs, and then going back to parking, sometimes you don't know who controls parking. One of the biggest revenues that was left out to me, they mentioned tailgating, was, if you look at the cost of tailgating, that's one of your revenue streams as well, and should be part of the strategy. So those are my 3 or 4 takeaways. I didn't mean to get wordy with it, but I thought this was a very interesting article. So
no, I thought it was important that you put that additional context there. I'm gonna go straight to you, Charles. You can piggyback on what Mike said, or you can frame it in terms of what I read, and then we'll take a break. And I want to come back, read just a little bit more, and then get into AD Drew and Wilton to holistically bring their framework of what they see in terms of the HBCU ticket model space.
I think Mike hit on a bunch of points that, and I'm going to try to. I think the one that he touched on is in terms of mimicking sort of what you see NFL do. I think that's huge, and to have those various pricing points to keep those fans engaged. But I think the biggest thing, you can have ticket strategies up the wazoo, and this comes actually from my research class. But that customer service aspect, that experience once you're inside the stadium or getting to the stadium, is the next piece that we really, in my view, have to work on.
Agreed, big time. Great point.
Unfortunately, sometimes, and I've gone to multiple stadiums, that outside perimeter, that outside security is your first, introduction to the game day experience, and that can color how you are, going forward with regards to, purchasing tickets from that point forward. Because if I'm not having a good game day experience getting into the stadium, it colors how I look even at the product on the field. So that's something that I hope that is the next level up, that you want, quote unquote, and this is the way my students framed it, the Chick-fil-A customer service experience. You don't want to be, sort of lacking from, security to front gate. That is an issue.
Ooh, that's a big one, because that is a part of the experience. And as you're going to elevate the ticket prices in terms of once you're in the stadium, you have to make sure your experience getting them there is equal to what you're able to do. And Mike brought it up that oftentimes they may not be the same constituents. Now, your customer doesn't necessarily realize it because they just see it as the university experience. And I know AD Drew is extremely aware of this, that parking oftentimes comes under a different unit on the campus. And it's usually in terms of security, police, if you would, department versus athletic department. Obviously, they work together, but how they see customers' experience can be totally different. So excellent points that both of you make. Let's take our next break and come back in and get Wilton and AD to kind of synthesize this even more in terms of what they have to say about this analysis. I'm super excited to hear where AD is going to go on this. We'll be right back after this last break.
If you've ever told yourself, I want to get into real estate but don't know where to start, here's something just for you. From Friday, July 31st to Sunday, August 2nd, the Learn Real Estate Fast Masterclass is coming to McKenzie Office Park in College Park. You'll learn wholesaling, commercial investing, and how to purchase property with zero money or credit. I can tell you, education and access are everything. This masterclass is designed to give you both. Whether you're brand new or ready to level up, this is where you start making real moves. Enjoy free lunch, free study materials, and receive a certification of completion. So don't wait. Seats are filling fast. Do not sit on the sidelines while others build wealth. Take that first step toward ownership and legacy. Get your tickets now at learnrealestatefast.com or tickpick.com. For more information, call 678-859-3303. Master the market, build your legacy, secure your future today.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter. From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Greetings, Santhus. My name is Roland Austin, and I'm one of the directors at the 1876 Athletic Foundation. The 1876 Athletic Foundation was formed to promote the success of all 343 student athletes. Our overall goal is to fund scholarships for all of our student athletes. We ask that you help us in achieving this goal by donating to the 1876 Athletic Foundation via the QR code below or 1876.foundation. Your generous donation will help us continue to assist the needs of all of our Panther athletes. Thanks, and go Panthers.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they want a law, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gonna teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. As we are back to get into this discussion, Mike got into a little bit of the premium tickets. There's also a lane out here, reserved tickets, and then I want to get these gentlemen in after I give a little bit of more context and numbers. The market is also showing a clear middle tier where schools are trying to move casual buyers into more committed season ticket packages. Moving from just general or small general packages, as we discussed at last segment, into what Mike drilled into as part of his dialogue. But Delaware State has a reserve option listed at $200. NCCU has a reserve bleacher seating listed at $169. Morgan State's reserve seating is listed at $150. UAPB has a bench back 50-yard line season package listed at $1 60, while Fort Valley State has a reserve seating listed as 140. Premium, just to give you an indication as you bring in some more dialogue about this, premium packages, Alabama A&M's Legacy Club package, Mike alluded to, is listed at $1,875. It includes premium seating, VIP parking, hospitality access, and the Bulldog Collective contribution. Delaware State's VIP box suites range from $1,000 to $1,800 and include box seats, early access ambassador service, and pregame social invitations. Prairie View A&M's Club 2026 option is listed at $300 and includes admission to all 5 home games and parking. With that being said, I'm going to start with you, Wilton, and save 80, the brightest in terms of being one of the closest to this functionality-wise for last. Wilton, what are your framing in terms of how you see this as somebody gets to write about this and teach about this in the classroom and has lived this from a perspective of growing up in Jackson, a place that is really rabid about the Jackson State Tigers and its connection to the SWAC for that matter. What do you see when you hear what we read in terms of the HBCU landscape for sports ticketing, particularly as it's tied to football?
You know, Doc, I'm gonna mention a point in this story that you didn't get fully to on down, but I think overall, I think it's just a reminder that things are constantly changing, and the product that HBCUs are continuing to put out, you have to look at it like this. From a business standpoint, I don't think anybody wants ticket prices to go up. I don't think anybody wants anything to become more expensive. But here's the thing: when you look at it,
that's a good point. You're right.
Think about it like this: if your team for whatever HBCU, it's been 40 years and you've won 3 games in each one of those 40 years, and then all of a sudden you get a new coach, and this coach leads your team to 2 straight winning seasons. And I say winning season, I'm not talking about barely like 6-5. I'm talking about like 8-4, 9-3, 10-2. Well, the more your team continues to improve the product on the field, that means ticket prices are going to go up. And then, oh, by the way, with the way the nature of like college athletics is now, especially a money-making sport like football, well, how do you feel like you're going to continue to get the players that you need to bring in if you're not being able to generate those dollars to help bring them in? Now, granted, we also know in a world in college athletics where the money that is coming into these programs don't always get allocated to where it's supposed to be. But in good faith, we would like to think that the money is going the way it needs to go. So in that particular case, on one side, it's like, as things get better, as things continue to improve, and the nature of sports continue to change in this college football landscape, it's only going to become more expensive. However, if you're an AD, you also have to factor in like, okay, well, every fan is not going to want the same. How can I say this? They're not going to necessarily want all the bells and whistles experience. Some of them just want to come to the game, kind of like Charles' point of like, when I come to the game, I want to make sure I can park properly. I don't have to deal with all the hecticness, because I know, and specifically in Jackson, there are a lot of older fans. They don't necessarily want to have all the pomp and circumstance or some of the newer things that like the younger generation is doing. They want to make sure they can park their car where it's going to be safe. They don't have to walk too far. They get a plate of food. Exactly. And get in the game, and hopefully it don't be too hot, right? But seriously. But
I like it because you're absolutely right when you talk about that particular fan base in terms of age, and that's not just Jackson, but that's exactly you do. That's across the board. Exactly. And those are fans that have been tied to this, and they like, hey, I've been here since day one. Just let me go to the game.
Exactly. And then you have fans like, you know what? I need to be close to the football suite. I need to be close to the AD. I need to make sure I got my parking pass for the rest of the season. All those things. That's one side of it. Another angle I want to look at, and it's specifically later on in this story too, kind of switching gears, where it mentions the sentence, the most interesting piece may be Alabama A&M tying premium ticket packages to a Bulldog collective contribution that moves NIL support closer to the ticket booth. And the reality is, again, if you want to be able to get players, because we all know that HBCUs are still competing with other competing programs, whether it's on the FCS level or the FBS level, to get players into their program. Because again, no AD wants a losing program, specifically in a money sport like football. So if you want to be able to attract and bring in some of these players that say could potentially go off to other schools, you may have to increase these ticket prices and or connect them to a collective so that that money can help draw these players in. Again, it's not necessarily what we thought we would be doing, say maybe a decade ago, but it's the reality. Like even the bigger schools, like whether it's the SEC, ACC, Big Ten, all the schools are doing it, and it's constantly changing day by day. I can tell you, and I'm sure all of y'all know Ross Dillinger. Every other day, you can see a story written by him about something when it comes to the business of football or just college athletics period. And I'm thinking, like, man, if this is happening on this level, from a power force standpoint, well, what does this mean for the HBCUs? Because it's definitely going to trickle down.
Yeah, that's a good one. Just read an article with Chris Gardner, give him a shout out. He does some engineering work for us on this platform, but he has his own show that he does out there called the Houston Roundball Review. And he always keeps me up on the business perspective because we get to kind of nerd out, as we say, on that. And it was released today that the Big 12 entered into a deal that allows sponsors just for the season, football season and the basketball season, that includes a patch and naming, not only in terms of the patch on the jersey, but also in terms of the field or the basketball court. But I wanted to switch it a little bit. A lot of you all are focused on the Division I FCS, SWAC, teased out a little bit of MEAC there. We did see mingled in this is for the Division II programs. But I wanted to get a perspective from AD Drew that holistically went whatever direction he wanted to go, but make sure he ties in what he sees this means when you look at this article, at least also from the HBCU Division II perspective. Go ahead, AD. You're on mute.
First of all, I just want to thank you for actually going through this exercise. And it's funny for me listening to this because these are the comments that we tend to get around the boardroom table when we're going through and trying to make these decisions. Full disclosure for everybody, I am the ticketing manager also for Morehouse Athletics. So everything that you guys have talked about, either I've brought it up in some way, shape, or form, or somebody has brought it to the table in one of these discussions when we're trying to figure out what price point we are going to do with the ticket. And one other thing, a lot of times the coaches have their input also on some of the tickets and how we're able to do things, because they have some ideas that they may want to do as far as packaging or specific things on different games. But let me kind of take you behind.
Could include, to some degree, we hear about them having people having access to them and a price point associated with that level of access. So good point.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yeah. Let me take you behind the weeds and kind of tell you what goes into how these ticket prices are determined. Number one, even before I get into that, we looking at some of these ticket prices. Some went up, some stayed stagnant, whatever. But when is the last time your institution actually increased their price? There are a lot of institutions who've been, for lack of a better word, been charging the same $20 forever to get into these things. Why are they keeping it that way? Some of the things that that Bishop brought up, trying to keep that low tier or that just general experience and everything. What type of real estate do I have to sell? Mike, I would love to be able to sell those suites that you're talking about, but I work at Morehouse. The best I can get you is a tent. So what type of real estate do I have to sell, and how do I set that price point for that? Am I able to get you in a back gate? Is that worth the extra $5 on the ticket because you can come in the back gate, don't have to come in the general admission gate? All those different factors have to go into these ticket prices and everything. And of that experience that Charles is talking about, from the moment you get on the gate, get to the gate, to your seat, how much of that do I really control? Who's really controlling the gate, whether you get on campus or not? Who controls those parking lots or the parking garage? Who sets those prices? Maybe it's me in athletics. Maybe it's the bursar's office or somebody in accounting or something along that line. If I'm lucky, I could get baseball, who's in their off season, to work a parking lot or something like that. So how do I sell that stuff and everything? Tailgate. Am I just selling you the land, Mike? Or am I selling you the land with the tent? Can you bring your grill? Can you not bring your grill? How do I value that? If you can bring your grill, then you can't bring your grill. Am I making you go to my caterer on campus, Sadeko Magic or Airmark or whoever you have on your campus, and you have to buy your food for them? And if you had to buy food for them for these events, that's gonna jack the price up even further and everything. So there's a lot of different factors that go into it. So you see prices going up, but you have to understand some of the reasons why these prices are going up. And let's be real. Everything is going up, and some of these prices you have to jack up because you have no choice, because the cost of goods sold went up, and you've got to make the proper market adjustment. But let me tell you something. The last thing, it's economic. Supply and demand are going to come together when it comes to this. If I price myself outside of my of my demand, I'm gonna have 25 people in the stadium. If I reduce my price that I could have gotten, I got a full house, but I'm gonna be missing it on the backside when it comes to being able to spend something for my athletic program. So there's that delicate balance where supply and demand meet together to create that optimal price point. Charles.
So I guess the question, the $1 million question I want to ask, and this is from me growing up in Jackson. Jackson State has a tremendous number of just casual fans, people who have never set a foot on Jackson State University's campus, who on a Saturday, this is their entertainment value. How do you sell that the price goes up to them?
Let me ask you a question, Charles. What competition do you have in Jackson for somebody who wants to watch live football?
No.
What competition
versus somebody like me in this city of Atlanta, who has a Division II literally next door to me, a couple more Division IIs around the corner, a D1 1.5 miles there, FCS, a couple of FBSs about 3 miles away, and I have to compete with the big old state school that's less than an hour away. So what's my competition?
The competition is still an entertainment dollar. I've heard that quite often, especially when you take a look at bigger cities. But the competition still is an entertainment dollar. Instead of going here, I'll go do something. I'll go to a movie. I'll go somewhere else. But
I think that's
going up.
Is how do you sell that?
Yeah, it's the same thing with the movie. You sell the experience. You have to sell
the
experience. And part of that experience is, like you said, Charles, customer service. I think it was Wilton. Who said the Chick-fil-A factor? Somebody said Chick-fil-A. You almost have to sell the Chick-fil-A type experience, the my pleasure and everything else that you get in the Chick-fil-A. And let's be real, some of our campuses are not good at that. But we definitely give you the McDonald's treatment.
Yeah, so I think to your point is you really are selling the experience. Because even if I use the example that you said, Charles, in terms of a movie is only as good as the experience that the customer has when they go there. If they go there and the movie theater they're going to doesn't have enough parking, That's a negative experience.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Regardless is at the football stadium or if it's at the movie, that's a negative experience. If the ticket taker that takes the ticket at the counter is rude, that's a negative experience. It doesn't matter if it's ticket taker at the game or if it's at the movie. That is good. If you go to the concession stand and they're out of popcorn, whether that's at the game or whether that's the movie, that's a what? A negative experience. So, the customer value oftentimes is something that you can't necessarily measure because it's personal to each person. But what you can measure is how I treat a customer once they come in contact with us. And I'll tell you just about any AD, VP of athletics, any president, any dean talking about students, right? Any provost talking to their deans, as I tell you when you come to our faculty meeting, Charles, if a student emails you, they may not get the answer you want to get, but I'll be doggone if you're not going to respond to my students.
Right.
That's not an option for a faculty, particularly for adjunct, because you don't have the protection of being, tenured. And even if you're tenured, be careful with that because, that can go in your folder. It can mark in terms of when there are opportunity for raises that you don't get the merit associated with the service you provide. So it really doesn't matter what business is. To your point, the first part is hard because I can't necessarily tell what one fan wants than another fan, but I can do a medley of options to try to have a big enough range for enough fans out there that they can do their a la carte of what they pick and what they like to service that range.
Excellent.
So Malcolm Gladwell went famous essentially with his book, right? And one of the things he talks about in that book is that outliers of his earlier books that we talk about marketing that I share with you. And one of the famous videos that he showed when he did his research is like there's no, and he did this on spaghetti, there's no perfect spaghetti. Early marketing people were talking about the perfect spaghetti. What they realized that those that were going in your grocery store to buy spaghetti had various type of styles of spaghetti they like. What they found out is providing the framework of enough of a different Petri, if you would, that you could have just about any customer come in there and they could find a particular spaghetti size they like. Chunky, thin, mushrooms, peppers, right? They have all this in there because that's your customer base. That's why now you go to a grocery store and you go to any line, if you're like me, it drives you crazy because you got almost too many choices. I don't need all this choice. I like plain stuff. I don't want all this. It drives me crazy. But some folks, they need it in there because the average fan, they like different stuff. And you see that across the board, whether it's soda.
Exactly.
You got all kinds of styles you can get based on what is your personal preference. And that's the challenge of a business of trying to find a sweet spot, not to offer too many, but you got to have enough variations for the fan, like you said, Charles, that just wants to go to the game. You might have to have an option while you go digital that there's some fans that can go to the office and you can print out their digital ticket for them because that's exactly how they want it.
Exactly.
It's going to be a problem.
Yeah,
now, you
exactly.
put that out there, right? You don't put that out there.
Out there.
You put, because your job is really going to digital because it's just easier to keep up with. You don't have to take cash. But you don't want to leave those folks out. And so you make amends of how do you work with them. So to your point, I think that what's beauty about this article, many people are going to see it in different ways. Some people say they're doing too much. The price is too high, right? Other folks are going to say this is what we need to be doing.
Yep.
That you have these different options. We are modernizing our ticket framework in football. And some people are going to say you need to start doing this with basketball and other sports, right? But that's the lane of where you are in terms of trying to figure out. And that's really what the difficult component has come to presidents and athletics, or VPs of athletics, and those designated marketing folks, and expanding that office such that you have enough manpower that can do the things that's necessary to meet the demand of your institution. And to what AD said, I think is a really good point, and we don't necessarily take on it. You know, your success of your program, Wilton had this also, and your location can do a lot. It's going to be different in terms of how Prairie View being the most west institution outside of a city, although it may be a metropolitan city, right?
Yep.
In terms of Houston, is going to be totally different than how Mississippi Valley does with their ticket. All can't be the same.
Nope.
In terms of how they do, because they're unique in terms of what they did. Prairie View coming off a championship, as you know, is going to be totally different. Valley, unfortunately, I don't want to pick on them, but having a winning season in some time, it's different. Bethune-Cookman, that had their first winning season in SWAC, is going to give them a different look of how they can market, right? Morehouse, after winning in basketball, and an AD that's out front and saying, you like this? Guess what? We like it too, but we want to do more. And we will do more, but we're going to ask you for more as well.
Yep.
Right? But it's easier oftentimes to ask the customer for more if they see the value, particularly when they see that value changing into wins. Because regardless of who you are, you love the wins. So I think you all made excellent remarks and took it down different ways that we can have our fans really look at this. And they are chiming off in terms of their comments, really making some good comments, really getting in some good space. So I thank you all for doing this thought exercise and sharing many different windows of what that looks like. But don't want to hold you longer. We're up on it. We did our service to the day for the people, and want to say thank you for listening to Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share our podcast with your friends and colleagues. I am Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, the Dean of HBCU Sports, coming from inside the lab in the College of HBCU Sports with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop, Wilton Jackson, the second AD Drew. Sometimes we wish we had the long show format as they do with Sports Wrap. They're on Sunday. It'd be interesting to see if they're going to be able to do that this week, or they have some other stuff.
We take you on Sunday. Come on.
So it already sounds. We challenge you. Come on over there. They're going to go even more inside that, and I'm certainly imagine that they're going to have some different insight that you can't miss. Then you have your O&G Strike Zone. They're going to get into it tomorrow. We'll be back on Thursday. Before you know it, it'll be time to be in Birmingham for the Swag Media Day, so we can give you some talk. We will release and provide some updates on the HBCU, well, I should say Black College Sports poll. Later, after Media Day, you'll see the All-American. I'm in charge with that as the managing director. So we'll release that and have some discussion on your thoughts, fellas, in terms of the outcome of those top 10 lists. They have been compiled. They are buried, but they will be released on Thursday. And going into Swag Media Day, we'll see what the people think. This is a combination of the coaches from the MEAC SWAC, as well as the CIII SIEC, and selected media that are providing their opinions of what will take place this season for the release of the preseason poll. With that being said, again, I want to thank you for listening to Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop, and particularly today with Wilton Jackson II and AD Drew. We look forward to Thursday as we discuss the latest news in the lab. Follow me, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, that's DRKENYATTA CAVIL, that's Threads, Facebook, and Instagram. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Facebook. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab on YouTube. Dream big and continue to move forward. Shout out to Deuce. Again, happy birthday.
Deuce!
Happy birthday.
News man.
We
Yes,
will
sir.
talk with you soon. Charles,
Of course.
Mike.
What am I doing, Wilt? What am I doing, Wilt?
This man. You know football season almost here because Mike Baker.
Lecture.
It's all good though. It's all good.
I thought he was gonna say shimmy.
What am I doing, Wilt?
He ain't even doing it right. He can't even do it right.
Show me how to do it then.
I can't tell you how to do it.
Ain't he? All these guys get us in trouble. Let's get out of here.
Dismiss, y'all.
Thanks, Wilson.